Just a quick heads up, the very first part of this video is my bike ride going to Browns training camp. If you just want to get straight to the Browns training camp tour, skip forward a little bit, or I'll try to include a link right here that you can click on and jump forward to that point of the video. Good afternoon. Today is Saturday, July 30th, 2022. It is 12:43 p.m. right now. We are here in, well, I think this is still Cleveland, Ohio, right? No, actually it's probably Brook Park. Yeah, right, because I just got off the Brook Park Rapid Station. That's the newly renovated Brook Park Rapid Station over there. And I took my bicycle on a bus and then the rapid in order to get to the station. I was going to start the video down there closer to where the actual renovated station is, but they're playing music, which is nice, but at the same note, I don't want to get a copyright just for showing the beginning of the video over there. Over here they have something called the Foundry Ladle, used to pour molten metal at the Ford Motor Company's Cleveland casting plant from 1950 until its closing in 2010. That's a nice little interesting artifact that they have there. But actually, today's video is going to be a combination of a bike ride and walking tour toward and of Cleveland Browns training camp in Berea at the Cross Country Mortgage Field House. Practice is supposed to begin at 2 p.m. Gates open at 1 p.m. Initially, I was contemplating just going there to do a video tour of the outside of Berea, because I didn't have a ticket to practice itself. The tickets that I had booked initially were for the final day of practice on August 16th. But then I was starting to think, like, well, what if it rains on that final day? Then I wouldn't get to go to training camp this year and do any video of it. But at the same note, tickets were long, even though they were free, they were long sold out. So kind of just like 2 hours ago, I was scouring Twitter, doing a search to see if anyone would happen to be giving up or had training camp tickets that they weren't going to use today. And I saw someone mention it, so I sent them a message, and then they said, hey, I was the first person to contact them. So get to do a little tour of Berea today. And the temperature is 78 degrees. It's supposed to be perfectly sunny according to the forecast, but you can see there are a few clouds in the sky, but I don't think they're gonna shield the sun away for too long. So let me attach this to my chest, this recording device, and then we will get started. You can see I'm wearing my Browns cap, and unfortunately my chest mount is blocking my Brownie the Elf shirt, but I still have the Browns spirit on. Let me cross first. I think according to Google Maps, I've ridden to Berea before, but I've never taken the rapid and ridden from this point, which is supposed to be about a 24-minute bike ride. But I believe it said to go down Henry Ford Street is the first thing. So hopefully the sidewalks are good. I actually didn't look too much to see what the sidewalk conditions were on Google Maps, because like I said, kind of a impromptu trip today. Alright, I crossed over to the opposite side of the street. Now I have the chest mount attached, and we'll get started here. Some rocky sidewalks already on this part. We're going to make a right turn here at Henry Ford just before the bridges. I'm going to walk through all this crap. Like I've said in my videos before, yes, the bike tires could handle this stuff fine, but even if riding through that increased the chances of a flat tire by like 0.5%, I'd rather just walk it for that little bit. But this side, the sidewalks look pretty wide here, so I think we should be good. I initially took a 22 bus. I threw this bike on the 22 bus going down Lorraine Avenue to get to the West Park Rapid Station. And I could have taken an 86 bus that would have gone almost all the way to Berea. That would have been like the normal thing I would have done, because when that bus drops you off, it's only about an 8-minute walk to get to training camp. And I think I showed that walk in one of my training camp videos last year. But because of my aspirations of filming more content for Poco Traveler, I thought to myself, why don't I take the Rapid to the Brook Park station and ride, I don't want to call this a bike path because it's not a bike path, but ride a way that I haven't ridden before. Unfortunately, again, I didn't, because this was very impromptu, I didn't do any research on the factories or plants that are on Henry Ford. Obviously, the street name itself is representative of Ford Motor, but like I know I heard years ago about certain plants closing. I don't even know if it's like what's in operation and what's not. Okay, so those were the wide sidewalks. There's still a wide sidewalk here, but it looks like once we get past this next little part here, we've got normal narrow sidewalks, probably not in as good condition. And then what the heck is this? We got like a big ass truck parked on the sidewalk itself up ahead. Alright, this is more of that stuff where I prefer not to ride through. And I just turned around and looked, there's not a single car in sight. And no cars that have been coming down have been using the curb lane. So let me at least, for this little stretch here, ride in the curb lane. Alright, so these trucks are actually pulled up on the street. I couldn't tell that from back there, but it's like a parking lane and there is no sidewalk there. Still no cars behind me in this lane. There's one car coming in the left lane. When I have not gone the route of Big Creek Parkway to Brown's training camp, because you can take Big Creek Parkway most of the way there. The alternative route is where I go down like Bel Air toward 150th, and then I actually cross Brook Park. I'm forgetting the names of the street. Eventually I end up near Sheldon and Holland and Angle, which I kind of will be going in that direction. This is just this kind of further on down Brook Park, further westward. Usually I'm further east when I cross Brook Park. So at least they have this little lane here. Not quite a bike lane, but sort of acts as one. I actually see the United hangar of Hopkins Airport over there. I am going to check my phone real quick though for directional purposes. Boy, there really are no cars that use this. At least not now. Let's see where we are on Google Maps. Come on, Google Maps, update my location. Alright, so it wants me to make a slight left where that car kind of went and go on to Angle Road and then turn on Glenway. We'll see. But once I get to the certain part, I'll be more familiar with where I'm at. Probably after I get past this bridge, I'll be more familiar. Cross traffic does not stop. So well, that car turned, so I can go straight now after looking both directions. Here's the big key, if you can get past the railroad before the train comes. I've been on the bus before when the train is coming by and you have to wait quite a bit. Alright, so Google Maps said to take Glenway, which is kind of a diagonal path, so we'll give that a shot. I've never been on this road. I could have taken, I believe that was Angle I just turned off of. I could have kept taking that up to another road and made a big square, but this should diagonal and save a little bit of time. It's a nice little breeze blowing today, so it's pretty good weather. I'll talk more about Berea and what's new at training camp as I get closer to it, but quick teaser, one of the things I want to show is that the houses along one of the edges of the training camp facility, I believe, were all torn down, and then the facility, the outdoor facility, was expanded. Okay, let me check again, because for some reason I remember the name Sylvia on my Google Maps. Yeah, it's suggesting we go down Sylvia, which is kind of a second diagonal into Holland. one of the things that I'm not sure if it's new this year or if they did it last year. They might have done it last year. Yeah, I think they did do it last year. At the training camp implemented the clear bag policy, much like the stadium has, where you can only take a clear bag in. But since I am riding a bicycle, it would be kind of difficult for me to wear a shoulder slinged bag over my shoulder while riding the bike. So I have my regular small backpack that collapses, and inside my backpack I have a clear bag, so hopefully I can just collapse this backpack and get everything in the clear bag for when I go into camp. I was debating whether to get into camp right when they opened, which would have been 1 o'clock p.m. The only reason I would have gone in immediately was to show maybe the line of people waiting to get in training camp on Beach Street. And also they were doing a giveaway for the first, I don't know if it's 500 or 1,000 fans. But then the negative of getting there so early is then you have to wait like a whole hour before practice itself starts. So for training camp itself, it's fun to be there for the environment, but practice itself is usually just kind of a boring drag, to be honest. So to add an extra hour of sitting in the sun waiting for practice to start is usually makes it less enjoyable, but that's why I figured instead of me rushing in right away, I'll try to take my time doing a video to kill a bit of time. Okay, so this is Holland, I believe. So we'll make a right turn here. Maybe I'll cross over to the other side. Actually, there's no sidewalk over there. Or is there? So another train track we're going over here. This is not conducive for a bicycle to ride over that train track there. Bunch of sharp, jagged rocks. I've taken parts of Holland before, but again, further east I've ridden Holland and before I would cut over. So this is still roads that I'm very unfamiliar with. I just know the general direction of Brown's training camp is if I keep going west and eventually a little bit more south, I'll get there. If you're wondering why I keep weaving in between the street and the sidewalk, you know, I look ahead to see if there's how much rock and debris is on the sidewalk. And I know you probably can't tell in the video, but I do turn my head and look behind me to make sure there's no cars coming at all before I decide to dip into the street for a couple seconds. All right, time to check Google Maps again here. I want to make sure I'm not riding too far. Looks like they want us to turn at the next major road. So we hit a few bumpy sidewalks. So this next road here will make a left turn. Let me just stop and check because I'd rather not have to pull out my phone again. Okay, yeah, we're gonna go down Eastland, and then we're actually not too far away. Go down Eastland and then diagonal eventually down First Avenue. There's the IX Center, so now we're on the opposite end of the airport. All right, now I'm in some familiar territory at least. This road here is where you can take the 86 bus. In fact, it's coming toward me. Let's say I wanted to take the 86 bus back to either the Brook Park Rapid Station, or it also goes to the West Park Rapid Station. Last year when I came and was going home, I did not have a bike with me, and I hopped on at the bus stop that was just by that bridge that's up ahead. Actually, last year we had to run to it because I looked at the watch and I knew it was coming in like 4 minutes, and I knew we were about a 6-minute walk away. So I was like jogging toward it, because otherwise would have had to wait like another, I don't know, 50 minutes or an hour, however often it ran back then. I don't know if we're like officially in Berea yet, but in my mind, I think of this area as either Berea or like right on the verge of it. But I'm pretty sure the training camp itself, which is kind of close to the next block and then down to the right, I'm pretty sure that says Berea every time, so. Yeah, here's the bus stop that I took last year. And then there's always a place here called Teens Restaurant and Bar. It's crazy how it's crazy how long I've been coming to training camp. I saw on my Facebook memories the other day, it said 10 years ago today you went to like training camp, and I was like, God, it's been 10 years already? And I thought probably was there even like 11 years ago. But when I had ridden a bicycle back then, one of the times, I remember this whole area that I'm at right now was newly done, because there were not nice sidewalks here. It was all like very beaten up looking. Now it looks very clean and modern. But just to think, like, it still seems new in my mind, but it's probably been like this for almost a decade now. The light here often did take forever to change, and I sometimes half wonder if these buttons even work. I think that was one of the issues last year. We were pressing the buttons knowing the bus was about to come, and they weren't working, and eventually we just had to run across when we saw traffic was clear. The little green sign over there says Middleburg Heights Corporation Limit, so maybe we're right on the border of Middleburg Heights and Berea. Just gonna go ahead and press these buttons again. Alright, well, it's not changing, but I see a green light over there, so we're gonna go ahead and go. I think maybe I should report that, because I swear I kept looking both directions and neither of the ones were changing. And that, I wonder if it's been like that for a whole year and just so few people cross there that they never feel like reporting it. So over here, we're going to turn in this driveway apron and go down First Avenue. And Brown's training camp will be partway down First Avenue. See, to make it a shorter distance to cross, we're to cross from this driveway to that vacant driveway over there. And you know what I hear in the distance? I hear a train coming, so good thing we're past the train tracks. Yeah, up until when Brown's training camp, you get to the facility, there's no sidewalks. So that's why I look behind every so often and will pull over if I see a vehicle coming. Still in good shape though. Cars are coming the other way. We got one car coming now. And you got a big vehicle up there loading like 10 junk cars away. I thought this has always been a bit cool about Brown's training camp though, where you feel like you're kind of in just a normal neighborhood. You know, there's little businesses down here, and then by training camp itself, you're surrounded by houses. Got a string of cars coming now. So it kind of feels like it's embedded right in the community. Alright, so we are going to pull up here for a second. So last year, because of like the COVID pandemic, they had Browns fans entering through here for the very first time, and then they entered the back way. But this year, it appears to be back to Beach Street, which is where we will head in a second. All right, let's unscrew this from my chest. All right, so outside walking now with the bike. Eventually I'm going to lock my bike up. Yeah, got my, like I said earlier, Browns hat. Now you can see the Brownie the Elf shirt. But let's pan the camera around here for a second. Cleveland Browns, Lou Groza Boulevard. I always love this sign. Just looks really cool. Let's snap a picture of that. I don't know what it is about this sign. I don't know, it just always looks like a big giant cookie that I want to devour, like one of those circle cookies with soft icing on it. But I always love that, even though that's featured in the front of the Browns training camp facility. I always love passing by that. Over there, the sign says corporate VIP hospitality, friends and family, and media parking. So that's where those people can park. And I'll shut this off for a second because there's people directing traffic. So that's where the front entrance where like players and I believe eventually the media goes in, Cross Country Mortgage Campus. Sometimes when I've come in the past, nice 2 electric bikes. Sometimes when I've come in the past, or most times, I will start over down that way. And then usually I'll walk down that hill and then turn onto this street, which I always forget the name of this street. First Avenue transitioned into Lou Groza Boulevard, but this is the road where a lot of the houses were torn down to expand training camp. I believe they put like an extra entrance over here as well, but I'm not sure who's permitted to go into that entrance. So right here, this is what I'm talking about. In the past, this was houses. And now they've expanded the field. The gate has been expanded. So basically where you see the curve in the fence, that's what everything was expanded, because those were all houses before. Looks like they even bought some of the property over here. I don't know if they tore down houses too, but it says sideline club parking only. But I believe this is a special entrance for certain people. Yeah, sideline club entrance. So you have to be a VIP of sorts to get in there. But then they installed brand new benches here. At least 3 benches. There's a new mini bleachers over there. So the main bleachers is on the other side and still is, but they put alternative smaller bleachers over here. You can kind of see the top of them. I don't know if we can see through the fence at all. I don't know if the video will show up on there, but This is all new. Again, these were houses before. Now it's just part of Brown's training camp, and we'll see when we get inside if we're permitted to walk in those areas so I can actually show it. But yeah, look at that area over there. I have to check Google Maps, but I'm pretty sure that was a house of some kind. I don't remember it being parking ever. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Then you've got a bunch of chairs over here. I have a feeling I'm not going to have access to this area. Just guessing, because for example over here there's a lot of Brown's chairs that not many people are sitting in. We'll see. Like I said, when we get in, we're going to do more of a tour. So interesting that the gate stops, the expanded gate stops there. I wonder if this house was stinged and said, nope, I'm not selling. And I wonder if the church that was here is gone too. I think it is. The church looks to be gone. So that looks to be the one house that maybe was a holdout, if I had to guess, from them expanding even further. Let me try to snap a picture. Because I want to get a perspective shot showing It's funny, that sign across the street says Cleveland Browns do not block drive, and it also says no peeing, be respectful. Now it makes sense that they didn't need to acquire like this house and further on down, because the footprint of Brown's training camp kind of starts like right here, although this house here is gone as well. So I wonder if that one was part of the acquisition. You just had a couple of holdouts. But over here on the right side is where R.B. Scott Park is. And anytime I have taken my bicycle to Berea, there's a little bike rack over here. And this area has always seemed generally safe. I've never seen random wanderers, so I felt comfortable locking my bike up, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. They've also got little half-court basketball, tiny jungle gym, and swing set. All locked up there, and transferred all of my backpack contents into the clear bag, which a lot of the contents are my video equipment. Like I'll be throwing this recording device in there when I actually enter camp itself. So I won't film myself walking in, because I'll have to go through the security procedure of bag check and what do you call it? The metal detector. But I'll try to film part way leading up to the walkway and then throw this camera in the bag. Anyway, enough of me. Let's show a walk up to training camp. Typically, when you get to the end of this street and you make a left, that's when you'll start seeing more of the houses having various tables out, either selling foods, drinks, or some merchandise. And this will be day one of Cleveland Browns training camp for the public, but it'll be day 4 overall. So like when I do my training camp write-up and report for my website Dogs by Nature, I will call it day 4 of training camp. It's the first one open to fans. See, and I always remember the street names when I get to the end here. Pearl Street was what we were just walking on, and now we're going to go down 3rd Avenue. You can see over there, there's an example of someone holding like a lemonade stand. It is 1:33 p.m. right now. So a lot of the fans who would have been waiting again and are probably already in, which is why there's a little bit maybe less of a crowd outside right now. I also did not bring a water bottle in because they allow unsealed water bottles, but I remember last year, and according to what they advertise this year, they give you free water bottles when you go in at one of the stations, so it's almost not worth bringing water in when you can get cold, ice cold free water and not have to lug it on the way up. So you do have some vehicles coming through amidst the fans, which isn't the most ideal thing in the world. But there's a shot of, we still got a good video picture here of the fans entering. So it's funny, where that truck was going, it's a sign that says parking $20. So if you want to get a spot close, you can pay $20 for it. Since there's a line, I'm not going to film the whole thing walking up. Maybe just a little bit as I get closer. This is the first time I've actually seen a business, AT&T Fiber, being promoted and having their kiosk outside as opposed to inside. Not as many vendors as I remember, though, for houses. I always loved Brownie the Elf being featured at training camp. Fits perfectly with the shirt, right? So once you get closer, the line splits. Instead of being one big line, you kind of see there's 1, 2, 3 different security screenings, so just split off into 3 different lines. Oh, interesting. They have a complimentary bag check over there. So I guess if your bag can't get in, you can check it over there. That's good to know. See, that's something I wish they would have advertised online. Because then maybe I would have brought something else and just left it out here. Alright, so we just got in Brown's training camp. My app was actually acting funny. It was kept on redirecting the website for my ticket. I spent like 15 minutes trying to get the ticket up. Finally, I went incognito mode and it worked. But there's the map for today's practice fields. So that where the Browns logo is, that's the main field that they're going to be working on. So let's see here. Which way we want to go first? First, let's go to where all the normal stuff is, meaning how practice has been over the past few years. You can see they've updated the banners this year, really big, saying Cross Country Mortgage, official mortgage partner of the Browns, as well as the Cleveland Browns. Script with the Brownie logo down there. Previous years they used to have food trucks over here, so the walking path, you kind of had to go through the grass a little bit. Over there you can see the new grandstand bleacher that they added for that side of the field, because it used to be really scrunched and there was hardly anywhere to sit over there. So if the team was practicing on that side, you're kind of forced to stand for the most part. But I remember 10 years ago when I first started coming to camp, everywhere you were pretty much forced to stand unless you got one of those little tiny bleachers, which those tiny bleachers are gone from this side too. So no longer are there bleachers. They used to have bleachers like right here in the grass. They still have them all the way down there. There's some of the special teamers like Charlie Hewlett. Yeah, the purpose of this video again is more of a tour of the festivities at training camp and less about what the players are doing themselves. This is where it gets a little more congested. The good old 40-yard dash is back. Looks like you have a little Browns Hall of Fame station here, which is a bit new. They've got the Joe Thomas bobblehead and the Clay Matthews bobblehead down here. So that line there actually wasn't for the 40-yard dash. They're trying to win various prizes.
Marcus on 5.08 now.
Fan club for dogs. Puppy pound draft board. So it looks like 4 puppies have already been taken this year. That's a new sign that I don't remember in the past. I mean, they would always release how many puppies were adopted. Please don't pick us up. We've been drafted. Aww. These puppies have already found homes. So these are the ones looking for homes. There's actually only 2 left that are looking for homes, or 3 left. Poor guys. They've got a vertical jump. looks like a station where you can take your picture and get it printed out. This is a virtual reality setup on this one. Brown. What is it again?
You just dance with the mascot. So
Dance with the mascot?
yeah, you play some music. You can dance. You can follow them. You can do your own dance.
Is
Send
it
to yourself after.
Is it going to show me with them or something? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead and try it for a second.
Do you want to do a chomps or brownie? I know.
Let's try brownie since I got brownie on the shirt.
You can see what each dance is before it goes too.
Yep.
Let's see here.
So yeah, you'll be able to see yourself, and then brownie's gonna come on.
He's gonna be on my
And
side.
then you guys will both be in the frame. Yep.
I'm not one to dance, but it's still fun to see it. 'Cause I don't remember. It seems like new.
If you want, you can text or email it to yourself.
Oh yeah, I'll text it. Can I? Do I just type it
You
in?
can just do it yourself.
Good.
Sweet, and then if that's alright, you just hit send. Awesome. Thank
Cool.
you for stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate it.
having me
Enjoy.
try it. So I got to look silly on a fun little video. But it's nice. I mean, it's more crowded here. They've got more events to do. But that's what I'm keeping my eye on. The free water seems to be going pretty quick. Last year, I remember after practice, I was still able to get water. Brown steamed water bottle. There's a camera going up for the film the action. Alright, so let's see what the Snack Shack is selling. Chips for $2.50, candy $3.50, Uncrustable $4, nachos $5.50, buffalo chicken nachos $7, hot dogs $6 with chips, beef brisket sandwich with chips $8, ice cream novelties $3.50, bottled water $3. Now who would buy a bottled water for $3 when you got this for free, right? Bottled soda, Snapple, and Gatorade $3.50. And this is always an essential part of camp, the misting station. Let's walk through here. It's a very, very gentle mist right now, but it feels good. And no one is taking a picture with Myles Garrett. Blasphemy, right? They got him all by himself, and I think it's pretty sure it's a new one. I don't remember the Myles Garrett one before. And it's kind of looks like a different material than the other guys. And he's giving out his yelling. Not quite sure what the hand motion is though. That looks like you're catching a pass, right? He had his hands out like he was catching a pass, so you would think he'd be like swiping to get ready to sack a quarterback. They've got the restrooms over here. Got a football toss station there, try to get it in the holes. A little field goal station here. Oh, really cool. I love the Connect game. Got a lot of little university hospitals bag. Hey. Thank you. Always a sucker for free swag. And these ones are selling prints or jerseys. You got a Bernie Kosar autographed jersey. Looked like it was almost $500. Universal Windows. This one is alumni autographs. So you got Hanford Dixon for day one of practice signing. One autograph per person per alumni. Here's the official Browns merchandise shop. So if you didn't bring your Browns gear to training camp, you can get it, purchase it there. And we've got the Browns picture opportunity right here. Then beware of the dogs. You've got Hanford Dixon and Frank Minifield. So very impressed by the expansion of festivities this year. Maybe they had some of this like all built up and reserved from, you know, the past couple of years. Even though they had training camp last year, COVID still had a little bit of impact. They did bring some of the smaller benches over here, so you could sit down over here. They've got more of the VIP patio over there, so if you've been invited for VIP for a certain reason, you can go to that grandstand there, right underneath the cross-country mortgage sign. And then we'll walk up to the bleachers, I think. Actually, there used to be a way to access it from the middle. I think you can still do that though.
So hopefully that just puts you into whatever.
Real quick, see the shot of the field. We'll head back down, sorry. I just wanted to show that real quick. Now I am going to snap a couple pictures of all the stuff that I've seen in this area, and then I'll probably try to resume the video when I go going to that other new side and see what it looks like over there. So interesting little nugget, I stopped over here by that Hall of Fame little truck near the Joe Thomas bobblehead, and they said one of these things will be what they paint as the Browns midfield logo and end zone logos this year. So you have 4 options. You can scan that QR code to vote. This one's got like the Browns helmet in the middle of the field with the new style Brownie the Elf in the end zones. This one's got the new style Brownie middle of the field, Browns logo in the end zone, so reversed. Then you've got the old style Brownie and different version of the helmet logo. And then that other Browns helmet logo with the new style Brownie in the end zone, so interesting. And then some old Hall of Fame memorabilia here. So right after I voted, I checked my email and I saw that the Browns had sent out an email with a link to that. So that's good that it's widespread and they're taking fan input.
Take Jack over here.
Looks like they have a little bathroom here for fans to use, not fans to use, sorry, players to use, or coaches if they need to run over there. I remember the one time during training camp, I actually saw, what's his name? It was one of those like fourth string tight ends. He was tall at the time. His name escapes me at the moment, but he ran off the field to one of the public bathrooms and used it. Practice has started, so that's why it's extra crowded over here. It's 2:35 p.m. And like I said, I'm less interested about practice itself. You can pretty much gather most of that from media reports, and I'll see a little bit of it after I'm done touring, but I just love seeing the atmosphere. So now we are walking back toward the front of Brown's training camp. That's where we entered earlier. I'm not positive, but these orange canvas bags might have been what they were giving away to the first like 500 or 1,000 fans, unless it's some other station giving them away. But if that's all they were giving away, I don't regret missing the item. Just looks like a tiny canvas bag by Rumpke. I think that was the company giving them out. If you want to enjoy some shade, this is the premium spot to be. Snapping a few pictures from a distance here. It's always nice to get stock footage shots. You know what's crazy too, how much the camera can zoom in. Like, I'm on 10 times zoom, so you can almost watch the action from back here, treating the phone as a mini binoculars. Okay, so where that person is standing, there's a 2022 season schedule. Wonder if they have that on the other side too. But it feels really nice in the shade. Big contrast from the sun I've been standing in. There is also a food truck over here, Cocky's Bagels. Now this one's just an advertisement for the 50-50 raffle on this side. Like a warehouse for equipment. So I wonder if they tried to acquire this property too, to expand it, because this is like the old width for as far as it would have gone.
Say they gonna come on this side. Come on, T. Let's see what they gonna do. They probably come on this side now.
No, they're definitely not coming on this side. I don't know if you heard that one fan was speculating, like, they're to come over here, right? I'm like, nope. Maybe a position will come over there, but not for like a small drill or kicking or punting drill, but not the whole team. And this is the area, like I said, they cleared out. So this used to be all houses. They've got some chairs over there, but I still feel like maybe this is only reserved for certain people. They do have a small pro shop there as well. I thought maybe it was restricted, but there's actually no one stopping people from going in here. So I guess this is open to the public. So there's your second pro shop and your new bleachers, and then all this is just acquired space. I wonder if they don't quite know what to do with it. Like maybe if they'll expand the fields at some point in the future. You could just relax in these Browns chairs, right? See? Just relax. Even though it's in the sun, it would be nice if there was like a little bit of shade here. But it still feels good. I mean, what the heck? You get your own private area to relax. And then yeah, so like I said, they really doesn't seem like they have fully known what to utilize with this extra space, because way over there in the corner they have restrooms, but nothing else in this area. Opportunity to expand. You know, I could see this being though in the future. They could put, if they had like a lot of food trucks, they could put food trucks here and more dining seating areas and really expand what they offer from that perspective. Let's see here. Can we walk further down this way? Alright, so it looks like once you get to that fence, that's probably where it gets cut off to that exclusive area, but otherwise the bleachers here should be open to the public as well. So if you remember when I started the video outside and I was showing those benches that were outside and I was trying to peek the camera through, this is what we were looking at. So hopefully whoever owned those houses got really nice buyout packages and weren't like forced out too much. I do like the expansion because, you know, you got a second grandstand, so from a fan perspective, a lot more opportunity to space things out and provide some more interactive features. So I walked further on down toward the field house because you do have access all the way up to this fence on this side, and then over here is where you've got more. Well, over there looks like Nathan Zagura. He appears to be doing one of his shows. I don't know, it looks like it could be a Didi Kinkawala from formerly the NFL Network, but I'm not positive. Only could see the backside. Yeah. And then these are kind of like two special tailgate areas where they've got a rooftop, but also an inside air conditioning. So that's more like imagine a loge inside of a stadium. So that's like the extra VIP where you got your own food, snacks, and whatnot. See them doing 11 on 11 drills now. There's Watson handing off to Chubb. I had been doing a few of those plays on the Dogs by Nature Twitter account, posting a couple video clips. There's Watson in the gun. Rolling out and just dumping it. So that might be a wrap on practice. It's just shy of 90 minutes. But usually when they all gather at the center, that's a wrap. Let's try to navigate through here before the crowd rushes to get autographs. I got to do the 40-yard dash thing once, many years ago. I don't think it was officially set up. Oh no, now I remember what happened. I ran it, but then I was doing like a really good speed. And as I was getting right near the finish line, some little kid just like wandered onto the running lane where I was running. So I had to like sidestep him. And that completely threw off my time. Hey there. Look at this little guy running. I'm just, oh, there's Chomps.
One over there. Did you say yeah?
Thank you.
You should talk to me.
Mascots are always the coolest, huh?
There's Drew back.
But yeah, I'm trying to actually see if there's another water bottle I can grab since it's hot weather, especially for the bike ride back.
Go see the car. Tattoo. You didn't get a tattoo.
Nope, I think the water is all gone. Fortunately, I still have one unopened one.
I'm right in front of, I'm like just past the bleachers. Hang on, guys, right here. you see Dad? There he is. Okay.
Alright. I guess I'll get ready to head toward the exit. There, I started the recording.
Alrighty, you got it. Ready, go!
You were a sister. We're trying to
We get a 5.36. That boy was flying.
And running back. Look at that.
Make sure you record your post-game comments. It's still rolling.
Yes, thank you. So I'm gonna have to review the footage. It said 3 something? I'm like, no, it couldn't have been that slow, right? I feel like the start and stop times were a little inaccurate. But that was still fun to try. I actually impulsively said, you know what? Let me give this a shot. The line is pretty short. So now we'll get ready to head out. Over there on the far end, I think they're doing like a catching drill where they throw balls back and forth to each other.
Through the pass. Yeah. Let's work. Big dog. Break train. Work.
So lots of people seem to be sticking around for the little bit of practice that remains.
That's what these Jackie's goals are.
Well, at least we cut straight across.
Just getting my final couple shots of practice. There's that bag check thing again, if you had brought bags in.
Good afternoon, Browns fans and welcome to the 2022 Cleveland Browns Training Camp at Cross Country Women's Campus. This year,
We got some t-shirts being sold here. Chub Hub. Long live the chief. Muck Fishigan. So kind of the adult themed shirts. I didn't talk about this when I came in, but they always have the brown stripes lining Beach Street. Let's get one picture of this training camp July 30th sign. I know this video is being kind of cross-shared with my Dogs by Nature and Poco Traveler audiences. If you enjoyed it, feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the Poco Traveler channel. Now that I've been out to training camp once, I'm not sure if I've ever been to an opening session. I may have once. The last few years it's been toward the back end of camp. I'll probably check what time the 86 bus is scheduled to come, and if it's relatively soon, I can just hop on that. Although I don't know, I'll have to see where I go after that. Initially I was thinking maybe I would do a separate adventure video. I'll probably just keep it to what I did for the Browns training camp tour today. So Pearl Street is where my bicycle is parked, down that way. While I'm walking here, let me check the 86 bus schedule. Because if I have time, I can run into this convenience store and check if they have my pretzels or maybe a small ice cream bar to snack on. Let's see here, Front and Bagley at 3:56, and it's 3:41 right now, so I might have time. Yeah, so I'll try to go down to this convenience store. For years, me and my brother, when we would come to training camp, after camp was over, before we were catching a bus, and the bus used to run along this street up here, Front Street, but now it no longer runs there. It's like further on down you have to go. But when it did, the stop was right outside the store, so we would pop into the convenience store. I used to grab like a bag of pretzel rods and also a real tiny like ice cream sandwich. And that would be a nice little snack to tide me over. So I'll probably check if they have either one of those items. What was the name of this convenience store? That's right, Pickwick Food Mart. Alright, better stop playing around and eat this before it melts. Got my bicycle back and ready to head back home, so thanks again for everyone tuning in, and go Browns.